The red dust of Zephyria blew across the refugee camp like angry spirits. Kira Nash held her dying daughter close to her chest. The baby's crystal skin had turned gray and dull. Each breath the child took sounded like breaking glass. "Please, little one," Kira Nash whispered. "Stay with me?" Around them, thousands of Veltar people lived in small metal shelters. The camp stretched far into the desert. Most of the people looked sick and tired. Their crystal bodies had lost their shine long ago. Kira Nash looked at her daughter's face. Solara was only 6 months old, but the sickness was winning. A genetic disease had no cure on their world. The Veltar had no money for medicine. They had nothing left to trade. A loud noise came from the sky. Kira Nash looked up and saw a big ship landing near the camp. It was not like the ugly metal ships that brought supplies once a month. This ship was clean and white. Strange markings covered its sides. "Humans," said an old Veltar man sitting nearby. "I heard they were coming." Kira Nash had heard of humans before. They were a young race from a small blue world. Some said they were kind. Others said they were dangerous like all the other species who came to take things from weaker worlds. The ship's door opened with a soft hiss. Several beings walked out. They looked strange to Kira Nash. Their skin was soft and pink, not hard, like crystal. They had hair on their heads in different colors. They walked on 2 legs like the Veltar, but they seemed so fragile that one of the humans wore a blue uniform with shiny things on his chest. He had brown hair and kind eyes. He walked toward the camp with slow, careful steps. Behind him came others, carrying boxes and strange machines. "My name is Jake Murphy," the human said in broken Veltar language. "We are here to help." The Veltar people gathered around, but kept their distance. They had learned not to trust visitors. Usually, visitors wanted something in return for help. Jake Murphy spoke with the camp leaders for a long time. Kira Nash watched from far away. She held Solara tighter as the baby's breathing got worse. One of the humans, a female with long yellow hair, set up a medical station. She wore a white coat and moved with purpose. Kira Nash saw her treating sick Veltar, children with gentle hands. Hope grew in Kira Nash's heart like a small flame. Maybe these humans could help Solara. But what did she have to offer them? The Veltar owned nothing. Their planet was destroyed by mining companies. Their people scattered across the galaxy like dust in the wind. As the day grew later, fewer Veltar came to see the human doctor. Most were too proud to ask for help they could not repay. But Kira Nash felt Solara getting weaker in her arms. She made a choice that would change everything. Kira Nash walked slowly toward the human medical station. Her crystal feet made soft sounds on the rocky ground. The human female looked up from her work. "Can I help you?" the doctor asked in simple Veltar words. Kira Nash could not speak at first. She looked down at her daughter's gray face. Then she looked at the human's blue eyes. "My daughter is dying," Kira Nash said. "She has the gene sickness. Can you save her?" A human doctor reached out her hands. "May I look at her?" Kira Nash placed Solara in the human's arms. The doctor was very gentle. She used a small device to scan the baby's body. Her face grew serious as she read the results. "This is genetic degradation syndrome," the doctor said. "It's very serious, but we can help her." "What do you want in return?" Kira Nash asked. She knew nothing was free in the galaxy. The doctor looked confused. "Want in return?" "Payment," Kira Nash said. "We have no money, no valuable things, but I can work. I can serve. I will sell myself to you if you save my daughter." The human doctor's eyes grew wide. She called out in her own language. The male human in the blue uniform came over quickly. "What did she say?" Jake Murphy asked, The doctor spoke to him in fast human words. Jake's face changed. He looked sad and angry at the same time. Jake knelt down so his eyes were level with Kiranash's eyes. "You don't need to sell yourself," he said slowly. "We help because it's right to help." Kiranash did not understand. "But I have nothing to give you." "You have yourself," Jake said. "You have your knowledge, your skills. If you want to help us help others, you can work with us. Not as property, as a person." The words made no sense to Kiranash. In the galaxy, the strong owned the weak. That was how things worked. But this human spoke of work without ownership, of help without payment. "I don't understand," she said. "You will," Jake said with a small smile. "Dr. Carter, can we treat the child on our ship?" The human doctor nodded. "She needs months of treatment, but yes, we can cure her." Kiranash felt tears of crystal fall from her eyes. "Then I belong to you now. Both of us do." Jake stood up and looked at the other humans. They spoke quietly together for several minutes. Finally, Jake turned back to Kiranash. "Come with us," he said. "Bring your daughter. But understand this. You belong to no one but yourself. You never did. You never will." As they walked toward the white ship, Kiranash held Solara close. She did not understand these humans yet. But for the first time in years, she felt something she had almost forgotten. She felt hope. The ship's door closed behind them with a soft sound. As they lifted off from Zephyria, Kiranash looked out a window at the refugee camp below. Soon it was just a small spot in the red desert. She was leaving everything she knew behind. But maybe, just maybe, she was flying towards something better. The inside of the human ship was nothing like what Kiranash expected. She had seen slave ships before, dark, crowded places where beings were kept like cargo. But this ship had bright lights and clean air. The walls were painted in soft colors. Jake. Murphy led her through long hallways. Other humans nodded and smiled as they passed. Some said hello in their own language. Their faces looked curious but kind. "These will be your rooms," Jake said, stopping at a door. "You and Solara will stay here." The door opened to show two connected rooms. One had a bed, a desk, and a window looking out at the stars. The other room was smaller, with a tiny bed and colorful pictures on the walls. "This is for my daughter?" Kiranash asked, looking at the small room. "Yes, Dr. Carter said she needs to be close to the medical bay. Your room connects to hers, so you can always be near." Kiranash put her hand on the soft bed. It was cleaner than anything she had touched in years. "Where do the other slaves sleep?" Jake's face grew sad. "There are no slaves on this ship. Everyone here chose to be here. Everyone gets paid for their work. Everyone has their own room. But I have no money to pay for this room. You don't need money. You're part of the crew. Now, the ship takes care of the crew." Kiranash sat down on the bed. It was so soft she almost fell through it. "I don't understand your ways." "You will learn," Jake said. "Rest now. Dr. Carter will start treating Solara tomorrow." When Jake left, Kiranash put her daughter on the small bed. The baby's breathing was very weak, but the room was warm and quiet. For the first time in months, Solara seemed peaceful. Kiranash did not sleep that night. She was afraid to close her eyes. What if this was all a dream? What if she woke up back in the refugee camp? In the morning, Dr. Carter came to get Solara. The human woman had kind eyes and gentle hands. She carried the baby to the medical bay like she was carrying her own child. "You can stay and watch," Dr. Carter said. "I will explain everything I do." The medical bay was full of machines Kiranash had never seen. Lights flashed and soft sounds came from everywhere. Dr. Carter placed Solara on a white table under a big light. This machine will fix the broken parts in her blood, Dr. Carter explained. It will take many treatments, but she will get better. Karen Ash watched as blue light covered her daughter's gray skin. Slowly, very slowly, the crystal began to shine a little brighter. It's working, Dr. Carter said with a smile. She's already responding to treatment. For the first time in months, Karen Ash felt real hope. Her daughter might live. She might grow up healthy and strong. Later that day, a human male with dark skin and kind eyes came to find her. He wore a uniform covered in oil stains. I'm Ben Rodriguez, he said. I fixed the ship's machines. Jake told me you know about crystal technology. A little, Kiranash said. My people made things from crystal before our world was destroyed. Ben smiled. Would you like to see our engine room? We have some crystal parts that aren't working right. Maybe you could help us understand them. Kiranash followed Ben through the ship. The engine room was huge and full of humming machines. In the center was a large crystal formation that pulsed with soft light. This is our power source, Ben said. But some of the crystals are cracked. We don't know how to fix them. Kiranash walked around the crystal formation. She could see the problems right away. The humans had tried to force the crystals to work in ways they were not meant to work. These crystals are not happy, she said. They are being pushed too hard. Happy? Ben asked. Crystals can be happy? All crystals have feelings, Kiranash explained. You must work with them, not against them. She showed Ben how to adjust the machines. Instead of forcing power through the crystals, they let the crystals give power naturally. The humming sound became smoother and deeper. Amazing, Ben said. You fixed in 10 minutes what we couldn't fix in weeks. It's not fixing, Kiranash said. It's listening. Ben wrote down everything she told him. He asked many questions and seemed very interested in her answers. Kiranash had never met someone who wanted to learn from her before. Would you like to work with me? Ben asked. I could use someone who understands crystals. You want me to work? Kiranash asked. Not just follow orders. I want you to teach me, Ben said. And I want to teach you about human machines. We can learn from each other. That evening, another human came to visit. This one was a young female with red hair and bright green eyes. I'm Amy Walsh, she said. I handle communications for the ship. Jake asked me to help you learn our language better. I must learn to serve better? Kiranash asked. Amy looked confused. You don't serve anyone. You're part of the crew. But if you want to work with us, it helps if we can all talk together easily. Amy brought a small machine that taught languages. It was nothing like the harsh training Kiranash expected. Instead, Amy made it feel like a game. They laughed together. When Kiranash made funny mistakes with human words. Why are you being so kind to me? Kiranash asked. Because you're our friend now, Amy said. Friends help each other. But I'm not human. So? Jake isn't from the same place as me, but he's still my friend. Ben speaks a different language at home, but he's still my friend. Being different makes us stronger, not weaker. As days passed, Kiranash began to understand human ways better. She learned that humans had something called free time when they didn't work. They had games and music and art just for fun. They ate meals together and talked about their lives. Most strange of all, the humans seemed to enjoy their work. They worked hard, but they also laughed and made jokes. They helped each other without being ordered to help. One day, Silara's skin began to turn from gray to clear crystal. Dr. Carter was very excited. She's responding even better than I hoped, the doctor said. At this rate, she'll be completely healthy in a few months. Kiranash felt tears of joy on her face. How can I ever repay you? You already have, Dr. Carter said. You helped Ben fix our engines. You're teaching Amy about Veltar culture. You're making us all better at our jobs. But I thought I was property. Dr. Carter sat down beside her. Kiranash, you are never property. You never will be property. You are a person with value and rights and choices. That's what makes you human. But I'm not human. Being human isn't about what species you are, Dr. Carter said. It's about how you treat others and how you let others treat you. You're more human than many humans I've met. That night, Kiranash looked out her window at the stars. For the first time since leaving her home world, she felt like she belonged somewhere. The humans had given her more than medical care for her daughter. They had given her something she thought was lost forever. They had given her dignity. 3 weeks had passed since Kiranash came aboard the human ship. Celera was getting stronger every day. The baby's crystal skin now glowed with soft light instead of the dull gray of sickness. She had started making happy sounds when she saw her mother. Kiranash was learning to live like a human. Every morning, she ate breakfast with the crew in a big room with tables and chairs. At first, she tried to stand while the humans sat. She had always stood while her masters ate. Please, sit with us, Jake had said on her first morning. We're all equal here. Now Kiranash sat with Amy and Ben and the others. They talked about their work and their families back home. Sometimes they told jokes that made everyone laugh. Kiranash was starting to understand human humor. Today, we're going to learn about human rest time, Amy said during breakfast. We call it recreation. What is recreation? Kiranash asked. Fun activities that make us happy, Amy explained. Games, music, exercise. Things we do because we enjoy them, not because we have to. Amy took her to a large room filled with strange machines and equipment. Some humans were running on moving platforms. Others lifted heavy objects up and down. In one corner, 2 humans hit a small ball back and forth across a table. This is our gym, Amy said. We exercise to stay healthy and strong. Is this work? Kiranash asked. No, it's fun. Would you like to try? Amy showed her how to use the machines. At first, Kiranash was confused. Why would anyone choose to do hard work when they didn't have to? But after a few minutes, she felt something new. Her crystal body felt alive and energized. I like this, she said, surprised by her own words. I thought you might. Amy smiled. Your crystal body is much stronger than ours. You could probably teach us new exercises. Later that day, Ben showed her more of the ship's crystal systems. Kiranash was amazed by how much the humans wanted to learn from her. They wrote down everything she said. They asked questions about Veltar technology and culture. On my world, only masters asked questions, Kiranash told Ben. Slaves answered, but never asked. Here, everyone asks questions, Ben said. That's how we learn and grow. Your questions help us see things in new ways. While they worked, alarms suddenly rang throughout the ship. Red lights flashed on the walls. Ben's face grew serious. Emergency, he said. We need to get to the bridge. Kiranash followed him through the hallways. Humans ran in all directions, but they didn't look panicked. They looked focused and determined. On the bridge, Jake stood in front of a big screen. The screen showed another ship, a dark, ugly vessel with weapons pointed at them. Pirates, Jake said when he saw Ben and Kiranash. They're attacking a transport ship full of refugees. On the screen, Kiranash could see the refugee ship. It was old and damaged. Pirates were firing at it with energy weapons. She could see escape pods being launched into space. What species are the refugees? Asked Rachel Stone, the human in charge of ship security. Veltar, said Tony Chun from his position at the navigation controls. About 300 people fleeing from the Kepler system. Kira Nash felt her heart stop. "My people," she whispered. Jake heard her. "Your people?" he agreed. "Rachel, prepare weapons. Tony, set course to intercept. Ben, I need maximum power to the shields." "Captain," said Dr. Carter, who had just arrived on the bridge, "we're a medical ship. We're not built for fighting." "Then we'll have to be smart instead of strong," Jake said. "Those are innocent people out there. We can't just watch them die." Kira Nash stepped forward. "Let me help." Jake looked at her. "This is dangerous." "You don't have to. They're my people," Kira Nash said firmly. "I know how Veltar ships work. I can help you save them." Rachel Stone handed her a communication device. "Can you talk to the refugee ship?" Kira Nash spoke into the device in her native language. A weak voice answered back. It was the captain of the refugee ship. "They're badly damaged," Kira Nash told the humans. "Their engines are failing. They can't run from the pirates." "Then we run to them," Jake said. "All stations, prepare for combat." The human ship moved fast through space toward the battle. The pirates saw them coming and turned some of their weapons toward the Aurora's dawn. "Shields up," Rachel called out as energy blasts hit their ship. "Crystal resonance holding steady," Ben reported from the engine room. Kira Nash watched the humans work together. They moved like they had practiced this many times. Everyone knew their job. Everyone trusted the others to do their jobs. "Pirates are demanding we leave," Tony said. "They say this is none of our concern." "Tell them it became our concern when they started hurting innocent people," Jake said. The battle was fierce but short. The human ship used its medical sensors to find the weak spots in the pirate vessels. They didn't try to destroy the pirates. Instead, they disabled their weapons and engines. "Medical bay to bridge," came Dr. Carter's voice. "I'm ready to receive wounded." Soon, rescue shuttles were flying between the ships. Human medics worked alongside Veltar refugees to save the wounded. Kira Nash helped translate and explain Veltar biology to the human doctor's dot in the shuttle bay. She met other Veltar for the first time in weeks. They looked at her with surprise. "Kira Nash?" said an old female. "We thought you were dead." "What are you doing on a human ship?" "They saved my daughter," Kira Nash said. "They saved me too. Are you their prisoner?" "No," Kira Nash said with certainty. "I'm their friend." The old female looked confused. "Humans keep friends?" "These humans do," Kira Nash said. "They're different from what we were told." Over the next several hours, Dr. Carter and her team treated dozens of wounded Veltar. They worked without stopping, using their own medical supplies to help people they had never met. "Why do they help us?" asked a young Veltar male. "What do they want from us?" "Nothing," Kira Nash said. "They help because helping is right." "That makes no sense." "I thought the same thing," Kira Nash admitted. "But I'm learning that humans see the galaxy differently than we do." As the rescued Veltar prepared to continue their journey to safety, their captain spoke to Jake. "We have nothing to give you for your help," the captain said sadly. "We don't need anything," Jake replied. "Just promise me you'll help others when you can." "I don't understand." "Kindness works best when it spreads," Jake explained. "You help others, they help others, and soon the whole galaxy becomes a better place." After the refugee ship left, Kira Nash found Jake on the bridge. He was looking out at the stars, his face thoughtful. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" "For showing me that not all strong people use their strength to hurt others." Jake smiled. "You're strong too, Kira Nash. Stronger than you know." "I don't feel strong." "Strength isn't about how hard you can hit," Jake said. "It's about how much you can help. Today you helped save 300 lives. That's real strength." That night, as Kira Nash held her sleeping daughter, she thought about what Jake had said. For the first time in her life, she felt truly strong. Not because someone owned her or controlled her, but because she had chosen to help others. She had chosen to be human in the way that mattered most. 2 months had passed since the pirate attack. Silara was now completely healthy. Her crystal skin glowed bright and clear like starlight. She had grown bigger and stronger, and she laughed when her mother played with her. Dr. Carter had done more than cure one sick baby. She had found a way to cure all Veltar with the genetic disease. The treatment could save millions of Kiranash people across the galaxy. "I need to tell you something important," Dr. Carter said to Kiranash one morning. They were in the medical bay watching Silara play with colorful toys that Amy had given her. "What is it?" Kiranash asked. "The cure for genetic degradation. It's ready. We can make it work for all Veltar people. But I need your permission first." "My permission?" "This cure came from studying your daughter, from learning about your people's biology. You have the right to decide what happens with this knowledge." Kiranash was confused. "I don't understand. You made the cure. It belongs to you." "No," Dr. Carter said firmly. "It belongs to your people. I just helped discover it. The question is, what should we do with it?" Before Kiranash could answer, alarms rang through the ship again. But these were different alarms, not danger, but arrival. "All crew to stations," came Jake's voice over the communication system. "We have visitors." On the bridge, Jake stood looking at a huge ship on the main screen. This ship was much bigger than theirs, with sharp edges and dark colors. It looked like a weapon floating in space. "Corporate Council enforcement vessel," Rachel said, reading her instruments. "They're demanding we prepare to be boarded." "What do they want?" Kiranash asked. "Us," Jake said grimly. "Or more specifically, Dr. Carter's medical research." A new voice came over the communication system. It was cold and demanding. "Human vessel Aurora's Dawn. This is Commander Vex of the Corporate Council. You will surrender all medical data related to Veltar genetic treatment. This is not a request." Jake activated the communication system. "Commander Vex, this is Captain Murphy. Our medical research is the property of this crew and the patients we treated. Negative. All biological discoveries in corporate space belong to the Council. You will comply or face the consequences." Jake looked around the bridge at his crew. Their faces were serious but determined. "What consequences?" Jake asked. "Your ship will be impounded. Your crew will be detained. Your medical officer will be transferred to Corporate Research Division." Dr. Carter stepped forward. "They want to take the cure and sell it," she said quietly. "They'll charge dying people huge amounts of money for something that should be free." "Over my dead body," Jake said. "That can be arranged," Commander Vex replied coldly. The big corporate ship moved closer. Smaller ships came out of its launch bays, enforcement shuttles ready to board the Aurora's Dawn. "Captain," Tony said from navigation, "we can't outrun them. They're too fast and too strong." "Then we don't run," Jake said. "We stand and fight." "With what?" Rachel asked. "We're a medical ship. They have battle cruisers." Kiranash stepped forward. "We fight with the truth." Everyone looked at her. "The Corporate Council controls information," she explained. "They keep people from knowing things that might help them. But what if everyone knew the truth? What if everyone knew the cure exists and should be free?" Dr. Carter's eyes lit up. "The Galactic Communication Network. If we broadcast the cure formula to everyone at once, the Council can't stop it. They'll destroy us before we can finish the broadcast," Rachel pointed out. "Not if we're smart about it," Ben said from the engine room over the communication system. "Kiranash taught me something about crystal resonance. If we modify our communication array with Veltar crystal technology, we can send the signal faster. Then they can stop it." "Do it," Jake ordered. The next hour was frantic. Ben and Kiranash worked together to rebuild the communication system. Dr. Carter prepared the medical data for broadcast. Amy wrote the message in dozens of languages so everyone in the galaxy could understand it. Meanwhile, the corporate ships surrounded them completely. "Human vessel, your time is up," Commander Vex announced. "Prepare to surrender or be destroyed." "Almost ready," Ben called from the engine room. Kira Nash was working with the crystal arrays when she realized something. "Jake," she called over. "The communication system. I need to tell you something." "What?" "A contract I signed when I came aboard. I never read it. I thought it was a slavery contract." "It wasn't," Jake said. "You know that now. But what did it say exactly?" Amy pulled up the document on her screen. "It says you're a cultural liaison and technology specialist. It says you have full crew rights and benefits. It says you can leave any time you want." "It says I can leave?" "Of course," Jake said. "You're free, Kiranash. You always were." Kiranash felt tears on her face. For months, she had been living as a free person without even knowing it. The humans had never owned her. They had never even tried to own her. "Ready to broadcast," Dr. Carter announced. "Wait," Kiranash said. She picked up Silara and walked to the communication station. "I want to say something first." Amy handed her the microphone. Kiranash spoke in Veltar, then in human language, then in the other languages she had learned. "My name is Kiranash. I am Veltar. 2 months ago, I thought I was selling myself and my daughter into slavery to save her life. But I was wrong. The humans aboard this ship showed me something I had never seen before. They showed me what it means to be free. They showed me what it means to help others, because helping is right, not because you expect something back." She looked around the bridge at the human faces watching her. "Today, the corporate council wants to steal the cure that could save millions of my people. They want to make profit from our suffering. But these humans are going to give the cure away for free. They are going to broadcast it to everyone, so no Veltar child will ever have to suffer like my daughter suffered." She held Silara up to the camera. "This is my daughter. She is alive because humans chose to be kind instead of greedy, because they chose to help instead of harm. This is what real strength looks like. This is what real power does." "Broadcast ready," Dr. Carter said. "Corporate ships are charging weapons," Rachel reported. Jake looked at Kiranash. "Any regrets?" Kiranash smiled. "Only one. I regret that I ever thought I was a slave. I was always free. I just didn't know it yet." "Send it," Jake ordered. The Aurora's Dawn's modified communication array lit up with brilliant light. In seconds, the cure for Veltar genetic degradation spread across the galactic network. Every world, every ship, every communication station received the data. The corporate ships fired their weapons, but it was too late. The information was already everywhere. "This is Commander Vex. You have made a serious mistake." "No," Jake replied. "We just did something right." As energy blasts hit their shields, Kiranash held her daughter close. She wasn't afraid anymore. Win or lose, they had given her people the greatest gift possible, hope, and they had given her something even more precious. They had shown her what it meant to choose her own family. The corporate council ships stopped firing. On the main screen, Commander Vex looked angry and frustrated. "You have violated 17 corporate statutes," he said. "The punishment is..." His words were cut off by another voice on the communication channel, then another, and another. Soon dozens of voices were speaking in different languages from all across the galaxy. "What's happening?" Kiranash asked. Amy smiled as she worked at her station. "The galactic network is lighting up. Ships, stations, colonies, everyone is receiving the cure data. And they're all talking about it." On the screen, They could see text messages scrolling by in many languages. Most of them said the same thing. Thank you. Veltar ships are changing course, Tony reported from navigation. They're coming here. How? Many ships? Jake asked. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Within hours, the area around the Aurora's dawn was filled with ships. Veltar vessels that had been scattered across the galaxy were gathering. Other species came too, humans, Altarians, even some Zephyrians. The corporate council ships were now outnumbered 100 to 1. This is Captain Silinash of the Veltar Transport Crystal Wind, came a new voice over the communication system. We're here to protect the ship that gave us hope. Kiranash gasped. Silinash is my cousin. I thought she was dead. More voices joined in. Veltar captains, colony leaders, even individual families in small ships. All of them had received the cure and were broadcasting their thanks. Corporate council vessel, came another voice. This is Admiral Sarah Kim of the Human Space Navy. You are ordered to stand down immediately. A sleek human military ship appeared on the edge of the gathering, then another. Soon a whole fleet of human ships surrounded the area. Commander Vex's face had gone pale. This is a corporate matter. The human navy has no authority here. We have authority wherever human citizens are threatened, Admiral Kim replied. Captain Murphy and his crew are under our protection. The corporate council will not forget this, Commander Vex said. Neither will we, Admiral Kim said calmly. Neither will the millions of people you just tried to rob of life-saving medicine. The corporate ships slowly backed away and jumped to hyperspace. They were beaten, and everyone knew it. Over the next few days, the Aurora's dawn became the center of a celebration. Veltar families who had been separated for years found each other again. Sick children received the cure and grew healthy. Hope returned to a people who had almost given up. Kiranash stood in the observation deck holding Solara. Her daughter was now 6 months older and full of life. She babbled in both Veltar and human words, pointing at the ships outside with excitement. She's beautiful, said a voice behind her. Kiranash turned to see Jake walking up to them. He looked tired but happy. Thank you, Kiranash said. For everything. Thank you, Jake replied. You taught us more than we taught you. What do you mean? Jake looked out at the ships gathered around them. We showed you human technology and human medicine, but you showed us something more important. You showed us what courage looks like, what sacrifice means, what it means to put family first. Solara reached out toward Jake with her small crystal hands. He gently took her and held her up so she could see out the window better. Look at all those ships, little one, Jake said softly. All those people are alive because your mama was brave. Uncle Jake, Solara said in clear human words. Eyes grew wide with surprise. Did she just? She's been practicing, Kiranash said with a smile. Amy taught her to say it. She calls all the crew family names now. Family, Jake repeated softly. I like that. Dr. Carter joined them at the window. The cure is working perfectly, she reported. We've treated over 3,000 Veltar in the past week. No side effects, complete recovery in every case. What? Kiranash asked. Now we keep doing what we do, Jake said. We help people. We explore. We learn. Will you stay with us? Dr. Carter asked Kiranash. We could use a permanent cultural specialist. And the galaxy is full of people who need help. Kiranash looked around at the humans who had become her family. Ben was showing a group of young Veltar how human and crystal technology could work. Together, Amy was teaching Veltar children human games. Rachel was training Veltar security officers in human tactics. Where would we go? Kiranash asked. Wherever help is needed, Jake said. There are refugee camps on Altair 7, mining accidents on the Kepler colonies. A plague outbreak in the Vega system. More people to save? More people to help, Jake. Corrected. We all save each other. A Veltar woman approached them. It was Captain Silanash, Kiranash's cousin. She looked older and tired, but her crystal skin glowed with health. Cousin, Silanash said, embracing Kiranash. I heard what you did. You saved our entire race. I didn't do it alone, Kiranash said, looking at her human friends. No, Silanash. Agreed. You found a new kind of family. The best kind, the kind you choose. Over the next few hours, more family reunions took place throughout the ship. Veltar people who had been scattered across the galaxy found their relatives among the crew and passengers. But the most important reunion was still happening. Kiranash watched as Solara played with human and Veltar children together. They didn't see differences. They just saw friends. She'll grow up different from us, Kiranash said to Jake. She'll never know what it's like to be owned, to be afraid, to think she has no value. That's the greatest gift we can give any child, Jake said. The knowledge that they are free and valuable just because they exist. What will you call her? Job when she's old enough to work? Kiranash asked with a smile. Whatever she wants to be, Jake said. Maybe she'll be a doctor like Dr. Carter. Maybe an engineer like Ben. Maybe a captain like me. Or maybe she'll be something we haven't imagined. Yet, Dr. Carter added, something new that comes from mixing the best of both our peoples. As the days passed, the gathering of ships slowly dispersed. But they didn't go back to their old, scattered lives. They went out with purpose. Veltar ships began carrying the cure to distant colonies. Mixed crews of humans and Veltar worked together on exploration missions. The Aurora's Dawn also moved on, but now they were different too. Kiranash had officially joined the crew as head of cultural relations. Several other Veltar had joined as well, sharing their knowledge of crystal technology and alien cultures. Most importantly, they had become something new. Not just a human ship with alien passengers, but a true mixed crew where everyone belonged. One evening, as they traveled toward their next mission, Kiranash found Jake on the bridge during his quiet watch. Solara was sleeping in her arms, making soft crystal chimes in her sleep. Do you ever regret it? Kiranash asked. Taking us in? Fighting the corporate council? Jake was quiet for a moment, looking out at the stars. You know what I regret? He finally said. What? I regret that it took so long for our peoples to meet. I regret all the years when we could have been working together, learning from each other, helping each other. But we're together now. Yes, Jake smiled. We're family now, and family doesn't abandon family. Solara stirred in her sleep and opened her bright crystal eyes. She looked up at her mother, then at Jake, then around the bridge at the humans working quietly at their stations. Home, she said in perfect Veltar. Yes, little star, Kiranash whispered. This is home. Outside the windows, stars wheeled by, as the Aurora's Dawn carried its mixed family toward new adventures. In the distance, other ships followed similar courses. Human vessels with Veltar crew members. Veltar ships with human doctors. Mixed colonies where children grew up speaking both languages and understanding both cultures. The galaxy was changing, one act of kindness at a time. And it all started with a desperate mother who thought she was selling herself into slavery, only to discover that she was already free. She just needed someone to show her what freedom really meant. The universe was vast and full of wonders, but the greatest wonder of all was simple. Different peoples choosing to become family, choosing to help instead of harm, choosing love over fear. That was the human way, and now it was becoming the way of many worlds.